Today's car is borrowed from Chevy of Naperville. If you're looking to get behind the wheel of a new Chevy, head on over to Chevy of Naperville on Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. Up front is a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 4, and down below is a CVT. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Malibu for a couple of reasons, but mainly the fact that I've been telling people for probably about the last year that Chevy wasn't going to make the Malibu anymore. Well, this video is pure proof that I was very wrong. GM was originally going to cancel this car in 2022, with 2023 only being fleet sales. Now they've pushed that deadline to 2024, and as of recently, GM Authority, which is a very popular GM website, said that they're actually working on an EV platform to continue the Malibu name past 2025. So this is the car where the goalpost keeps getting moved. The end zone is ever further away. Will they ever cancel this car? Will it stick around? I don't know, but I'm excited to share a modern one with you today. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, ZachPradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 1.5 liter turbo under the hood. Well, it only makes about 163 horsepower, which isn't anything crazy, but it is a sub 2 liter, albeit helped out by the turbo, but nothing crazy should be expected. It's also found in the Buick LaCrosse, the modern Buick LaCrosse, as well as the Buick Envision. And this engine was developed by Opel, Shanghai GM, as well as MG. Now, this car was actually put together in the Fairfax plant down in Kansas, but the engine is really a global engine. We only got it here in 3 different vehicles, but it's used overseas in Havals and MGs and other vehicles that we just don't get here in the States. So, not only when you buy this car do you get a 4-cylinder turbo, you also get a little bit of a geography lesson, which is pretty neat. Now, like I said, paired to it is a CVT, which means continuously variable transmission. I'm not a big fan of CVTs. This here in the Malibu, it's actually doing fine. I don't really notice it. It doesn't have any of those negative attributes of the CVTs where it whines and whistles and, well, spits in your face. You could hear it got a little wonky, but it did fake shift to make me feel better, and at the end of the day, I can't really hate on it too much. It's just I wish that it got like the 9-speed or something that GM is more commonly known for. Last but not least, of course, the Malibu is front-wheel drive. The actual driving experience is fine. It's nothing really to note. Steering is light enough. I could see out of it well enough. It's good. It checks all the boxes. It just doesn't blow me out of the water in any sort of way. But with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 main gauges and a screen. Off to the left is my tachometer, as well as my fuel and coolant temperature in the center. And then off to the right is my speedometer, and I get a nice little screen down in the center. This feels a little cheap because it only is one color. It's black and white. Doesn't have any like cool graphics paired to it or anything like that, but I guess I can't be too mad. This chassis is somewhat dated at this point, and I understand Chevy not wanting to dump a bunch of money into a car that's been on its deathbed the last couple of years. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my cruise control and pre-collision warning, as well as lane keep assist. And off to the right, I have voice commands, phone options, and my selector dials for that center screen we just talked about in the gauge cluster. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent, a little bit of fabric above that, and then I have my gauge dimmer switch and headlights. Pretty standard stuff. And moving on to the door, I have my lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do get a little small of a display, but it is a touchscreen display, and this shares the infotainment system with pretty much every GM product on sale right now, minus the really top tier stuff like the Escalade and Lyriq and Hummer EV. It's a very, very basic system. It's very easy to use, and I really, really like that. As soon as I get into these GM vehicles, I pretty much know how it operates. It works very similarly to a smartphone, and it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, of course. I also do get a backup camera with some lines that do adjust when you turn the steering wheel. I always like seeing that. Kind of shows your trajectory, and overall it's fine enough. Then we do have our radio controls, our automatic start stop on and off, and hazard switch, and then the climate controls themselves. I really, really like the climate controls. Clean, simple, easily laid out. Now I don't get dual zone or anything like that, but I get fan speed off to left, where to send it in the center, and temperature off to the far right. Moving down below, I do have a pretty open cubby with my USBs, aux, and 12-volt outlet hidden up underneath. Pretty out of the way there. Then I do have a giant traction control button and the shifter. The shifter is shared with most Chevy products currently on sale. I like it. I like the fact that I get a little RS badge down below. Makes me feel a little bit special for going up to the RS. Now the RS is a mid-range trim level, but still cool nevertheless. And I do get a power parking brake down below. But off to the right, I do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. And unfortunately, I could have told you this before even getting in the car, but it does not pass the big friggin' bottle test, which is okay. Most sedans tend not to. There's a couple outliers, of course, but this is how other Chevys stack up, if you're curious. Then I get a little cubby and a center console. Absolutely nothing of note inside the center console. And then we'll talk about the seats. The seats are comfortable. They are cloth, however, and the driver's seat is power, which is very, very nice. However, I wish I got like an RS badge on it, maybe stitched into it, but then again, this isn't the craziest trim level or package in the world, so I understand why they wouldn't spend the money on that. I just would have liked to have felt a little bit more special. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS, and knee room great, headroom great. GM has always been very, very good about their back seats in the sedans. Even going down to their compacts, there's always a little bit of wiggle room, and I really, really like that. GM isn't great at everything, but back seats, I think they really tend to nail in terms of space. In terms of amenities, not so much. Well, I have power windows and a 12-volt outlet. That's it. But something that I really love about sedans is the very nice, comfy, big back seats. I think because SUVs sit higher, smaller SUVs really, really suffer from backseat space. Well, you can kind of get away with more in a sedan in terms of actual length and whatnot. So I really, really like that factor. But nothing really spectacular back here. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Malibu RS. Hit it twice on the key fob, and that pops the trunk all the way up. Once we are back here, not too much to note. I can put down the second row of seats by just hitting these buttons here, and I can pull this floor up, spare tire. That's pretty much it. I do like the space back here. It's an American sedan, has a big trunk, and that's what I love. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is finished in Riverside Blue. Now Chevy of Naperville had a couple of these on the lot that I could have picked, but most were white, black, or gray. I really wanted something a little bit more striking, so that's why I opted for the RS in Riverside Blue, and I think it's a relatively handsome car. I think it is just starting to get a little outdated. Maybe because we don't see many modern sedans, maybe that's why it feels outdated. Maybe it's because the face has looked pretty much the same since 2015, 2016, 2017, that sort of era. I don't know, but I still think it's a relatively handsome vehicle, and I like the little fin at the back, and some design cues I think still work really well, but it seems to have run its course in terms of being the hot kid on the block. But now, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving a brand new Malibu? Something I never thought I would say, quite honestly, ever again. Well, this is a very, very interesting vehicle because, like I said at the top of the video, it was supposed to be killed at the end of last year. It was supposed to be killed this year. It's supposed to be killed now next year. And now there's rumors that it's going to go on past 2025. It's the housefly that you never seem to be able to catch. And yet they're only supposed to have a life expectancy of like, what, 8 days or whatever? And so I really wanted to drive this car, not for the driving experience, not because it's a Chevy, not because of any other reason besides the fact that this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. All of this car's main competitors are dying or dead. The Charger and Challenger are ending at the end of 2023, leaving Dodge with no sedans. Ford already killed the Fusion and the Fiesta and the Focus, so no natural competitors over there. If you really want a competitor to this car, you gotta go to Asia or Germany. Maybe a 2-liter turbo 3 series is kind of a competitor, but not really. And even when this car's days were doomed, it somehow has managed to turn things around. The reason all those cars are dying is because sedans are going out of style. And when I mean sedans, it's these low-slung cars with 4 doors. When you think of a car, you think of a sedan. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you think of a sedan. This is a sedan. They're going out of style in favor of SUVs. And so that's why most automakers are killing them, because they're not selling as well. But I think people are starting to get a little fed up with how many SUVs are flooding the market. Everything is an SUV now. And so I think if they can hold out this car for a couple more years, I think we're gonna see that pendulum start to swing back the other way. People are gonna yearn for a sedan because they haven't had one in a while. And it's not because this car is any more special than any other sedan. It's honestly just stubborn. It's the most stubborn sedan ever made because Chevy keeps selling them. People keep buying them. This has a secret potion that other sedans, well, unfortunately didn't have, because this is still here and they're not. And it's always fascinating to me talking about the apocalypse and the end of the world, because everyone always thinks the last man standing is going to be the guy that looked like he owned his own personal Bass Pro Shop and has all the gear and all the survival instincts and all this and all that. But if I've learned anything from the Hunger Games books, it's the average Joe that seems to run the course, to make it to the end. And that's exactly what this car is. It's not spectacular. It's not groundbreaking. My jaw has yet to hit the floor. But maybe that's its secret to success. Maybe because it isn't big and brawny and in your face and on every billboard on I-55, maybe that's why it's lasted this long. I don't know. This car is hiding a secret sauce somewhere. I just can't sniff it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I want to know your opinions on sedans. Please leave a comment. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a comment on if you feel like sedans should come back, if you think sedans are going to come back, if you think sedans are going to be dead for a long, long time. Please let me know. I'm very, very curious. Huge thank you to Chevy of Naperville for letting me take out their 2023 Chevy Malibu. Their information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. Absolutely fantastic to work with. They're a great dealer, and I can't be happier with the way they've treated me and the other customers that I've seen. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.